Hello and welcome. Introducing us to the Fur Talk podcast is Mizu Kurai.
Oh. Hello.
Hello!
I totally fucking planned that shit.
Alright. Joining us today are
Black Foxx!
And Ralleign Siston.
And we're gonna talk about some shit.
Yay, talking about shit. We are the masters of, introductions. They always go smoothly without any issues whatsoever. I mean, except for all the issues, of course.
I mean, what? In all of our time doing Fur Talk podcast, we've only bungled 14 intros out of 14 episodes.
That's true. I am the tired.
And that is why I got coffee.
Maybe you could fucking drink some coffee.
I mean,
Blake
coffee.
does not like coffee.
Coffee is gross and tastes like burn.
You can lead a Blake to coffee, but you can't make him drink.
That's true. Words to live by. You are the wisest of sages. Did you meditate high atop the mountains to gain such wisdom?
Yes, I also had some giant head thing take my legs, and arms, and eyes, and mind.
That is how you achieve enlightenment.
Yep.
So,
So,
you want to have a brief conversation chronicling our journey through Pokemon so far?
no.
Yeah, I think you do.
No, I don't.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
Do it.
No.
His party was a real hero. They were true patriots.
So since you won't relay the story, I'll tell you, at least for the most part. So me and him have been recording videos for a Pokemon playthrough. I mean, we don't really have any of them up yet because we're trying to build a backlog of videos right now before we start uploading Let's Plays again. But it has been a journey.
A roller coaster.
So we decided to use Nuzlocke rules, and I don't want to give too much away for people who might be interested in watching the Let's Play. But let's just say things do not go super well at all.
Well, hey, you never succeed your first Nuzlocke. Hell, not even the guy who invented Nuzlocke succeeded in his first Nuzlocke.
Oh, we haven't lost. We are not in the best of positions.
We have 3 Pokemon, and like most fan games, it gets harder the longer we go.
Yeah. Oh man, it is.
You gotta love fan games. They're either weird, fanficky shit, or uber difficult. There's very few fan games that actually know how to balance difficulty properly.
They're either broken messes or they're impossibly hard. Is usually how fan-made games go.
It's not necessarily super difficult. It's just more difficult than the actual games.
Yep.
Double points if the fan game requires you to make use of a glitch that's very little known even within the community of the game itself to progress.
I mean, the game we're playing is probably one of the easier ones we're gonna find.
Woo! Easier games.
We could always play Pokemon Reborn, where the game is designed to be uber difficult.
Well, maybe we'll try that one later on, but we've got to make it to the end of this game first. Assuming we don't die and have to start over from the beginning. Which might end up being the case the way this one's been going.
Didn't you say the game also caps you off on level grinding? You can level grind for a certain section, but if you get your Pokemon too high a level, you can't get through that section anymore.
If they get to a high enough level, they stop obeying you.
Yep.
They stop listening because they're jerk faces, but...
Which is weird, because I swear in Pokemon, that was actually a mechanic where, Pokemon you traded at too high a level wouldn't listen to you, but if you trained it yourself to that high of a level, even without the proper gym badges, it would still listen to you.
No, that's not really the case. At least it wasn't in the older games.
Not in the original game. I think that was also the same with Silver, Gold, and Crystal. And I want to say it was also a thing in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green.
That would make sense. I don't know, man.
I can just imagine your loyal starter Pokemon just like one day being like, you know what? You're my trainer.
Charizard
You
shit out of this thing, bitch.
You're my
Hey,
trainer.
man. I mean, that's what happened with Ash's Charmander.
Well, see, Ash didn't start off with the Charmander.
Yeah, he only rescued it and saved its life.
Fair enough.
Only for it to be a dick later. But then eventually it came around again, and it was his pal and his buddy. And then he was like, you know what, get out of here. Because that's what people do with their Charizards.
That was...
Get rid of them.
That seems to be kind of like a thing with at least half of Ash's Pokemon in the first series.
You know, I'm surprised Ash's Pikachu can't
Pikachu
just...
almost fucking dies. Oh shit, better get it to the Pokemon Center.
You know, I'm surprised at this point Ash's Pikachu can't just one-man army fucking everything at this point.
It does. I mean, he sends that Pikachu out against things that it has type disadvantage against, and it will win most of the time.
Pikachu, aim for the horn!
Pikachu, catapult yourself into the anti-gravity device!
Pikachu!
Oh my goodness. That's just because he's the mascot character. That's why they always
why
make
he
him
fucking
overpowered
wins all
in
the
the
time.
anime.
But I'm just saying, like, Pikachu should...
I like how he regularly fights gods and shit too. He don't give a fuck. Pikachu gives no
Hey, look,
fucks.
fucking legendary Pokemon that created the world and shit.
I'm
Gonna
gonna beat it
fight
up.
the shit out of him.
Pikachu is basically a shonen anime protagonist by this point.
Kind of.
I think
Well, I don't know. Not really your standard shonen. Well, yeah, your standard shonen. Like Ichigo. Where, like, his whole plan with everything... At least first season Ichigo. Where his whole plan is, big scary monster, I can take this.
I think one of the more infamous battles where you can't really equate Pikachu to being a shonen protagonist is the battle against Tobias.
Tobias?
Tobias.
What happens
sounds
there?
Deadly.
What was it? I think it was like top 4 of the Sinnoh League. Ash ends up coming across a trainer that has 2 legendary Pokemon. We don't know what the other 4 were.
He had...
Nice.
Oh, I see. So he just fucking wiped the floor with Pikachu.
He wiped the floor with Ash's entire team.
Well, yeah, but Ash is not allowed to win tournaments, remember? There's like some kind of weird like rule within the like logic of their universe where Ash can't win those.
By the way, Ash is the only trainer out of all the trainers that Tobias ever fought that actually got him to his second Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure Tobias's entire team just consisted of the one team that literally everyone went to the most recent Smogon with.
Yeah, maybe if they were playing Ubers. He had Darkrai and not Latios. Or Latios.
Cool.
Nice.
I will never know what the other 4 were.
That's not important. It just meant that Ash didn't stand a fucking chance.
Because he's Ash, fucking catch him.
And the one thing he'll never do is fucking catch him.
Now I feel like the anime tries to keep him at 6 Pokemon, but then...
I don't know, man. It's just...
Well, I gotta get rid of one.
He neither catches them all, nor wins anything. He just kind of wanders around aimlessly and, like, runs into random Pokemon.
He has lofty goals, but no skill.
It's the people around him who do things that matter. He's just kind of there. It's like, oh, hey, Ash. You're just in time for me to do something important. Oh, that's cool. Can Pikachu electrocute something? Yeah, sure, I guess.
He's basically the main protagonist of any Elder Scrolls game.
Stuff's just happening around him and he just shows up at the right time. Oh, hey, you're just in time. We're in the middle of a civil war. Do you want to join? No.
I think I'd rather just sit back and watch it so that anyone who's viewing things through my consciousness gets to see all this.
I mean, why not?
Ah, man. Since there was, like, a movie now where, like, the entire movie is viewed from the first-person view of the main protagonist, like, how long do you think it'll be before someone tries to shoot an entire show like that?
Well, I mean, wasn't Doom entirely in the first-person perspective?
No, one scene in Doom was entirely in the first-person perspective.
I thought the whole movie was.
Nope. That was just that one scene where he gets like injected with a super soldier serum and like starts fucking wrecking all the things, and then he runs into the rock and it stops being in first person again.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. It's been a really long time since I watched the Doom movie.
Also, The Rock wasn't Doom.
It wasn't a very good movie.
I mean, how much more do you need to know than The Rock is the main antagonist?
No, I do like the part though where towards the middle where The Rock dies and he's like, I thought I was the main character.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, because they advertised him as the main character the whole time, and it was supposed to be like a big twist, but they did it in like the stupidest way.
I also remember, like, you mentioned that first-person point of view, like, scene. Like, I remember once watching that scene. Like, it was my first time watching that scene, and like he goes through, he blasts a few aliens. It looks fucking awesome. He throws a grenade at one as it's like shouting at him. The alien looks down at the grenade for a second. It dings like a fucking egg timer and then blows off. I just couldn't stop laughing at that point.
Oh man, that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
But yeah, we've actually had like an entire movie.
You know who would actually be a great director for a Doom movie?
Mickey Mouse.
Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
You know, I feel like that would be right up his alley.
I mean, the only thing is that he'd have to focus only on the explosions and ultraviolence and leave out the lady parts because, Doom Guy don't give a shit about nothing but killing demons.
Yeah. Well, maybe if he did like a Duke Nukem movie, he could do it perfectly.
That's true. Duke Nukem likes ladies, so he get to run ladies for Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Because I know that's the other thing Michael Bay really likes to do. It's always explosions and like hot girls.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is pretty much your standard action.
And that's pretty much what Duke Nukem was designed to be.
That's what Doom is designed to be, only turn up to like fucking 30 in a scale of 1 to 10.
Exactly.
No, apparently they're gonna do another Doom movie.
They're gonna do another Doom movie.
Based on the more...
I only just recently heard about it, but the only thing I know right now is they're floating the idea of maybe having Doom Guy be Doom Girl. That's the only thing I know so far.
I don't know. It could work out so long as they don't try to oversell that shit.
See, I don't really care personally as long as the whole movie is built around mindless destruction of demons, because that's kind of Doom Guy's thing. Also, I kind of want them to like not call like the character like Doom Girl or Doom Chick or something. Just Doom Guy still.
Yeah. Either that or give her like an actual legit name, because I don't think you can. I honestly feel like you can't do a movie where the main character is Doom Guy.
No, you can totally do a movie where the main character is Doom Guy. That's what should happen. Doom Guy just needs to be Doom Guy, just wrecking stuff. I mean, I think with like the mindset you need to go into with something like Doom is it's like kind of a campy gore fest more than like trying to be like this serious and deep movie, which is like kind of like Evil Dead, where it's like kind of like over the top and goofy.
Funny enough, like Doom's roots was like half inspired by D&D and half inspired by like horror movies and stuff.
I could see that.
And like it's kind of funny because the best way to do a Doom movie now is to do it like a modern day horror movie with a bunch of gore and shit.
Yeah, I mean that would be like what I would do. I would do it like a super hyper action movie with just like tons of violence and stuff and like minimal plot.
Hyperdeath.
Kind of like the way they did it in the game, where like plot was happening, but Doom Guy was actively trying to like
skip the plot and get straight to the killing.
Yeah, he was like actively trying to escape the plot the entire time. Like that guy would start to talk to him, and he'd like throw the monitor away and be like, "Fuck that! I don't got time for this shit. I've got demons to slay."
In fact, the game kind of is left up to your interpretation. So like, a lot of people say that like the game opens up with like Doom Guy being really fucking pissed at this guy for opening up a gate to hell and like releasing demons. But I feel like it could also be interpreted that Doom Guy was fucking ecstatic that this guy opened up a portal to hell and released a bunch of demons because it lets him go on a demon murder spree again.
Well, I mean, you remember in the game, the lore behind it is that the demons sealed Doom Guy away because he was too dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like your typical movie only flipped on its head, because normally the demons are sealed away to protect people.
But no, this time the person is sealed away to protect demons.
Because Doom Guy is way too powerful. Oh, I love Doom. It's so ridiculous. So, like, yeah, I don't think the gender matters so much as long as, like, the ultra
death.
The ultra violence is the center of attention still.
Yeah. I could see it working. I think that's kind of where the other one failed. It tried to be... I don't even know what it tried to be. It was just stupid.
I mean, hell, like, what better example do you need than they changed the name of the big fucking gun to the big force gun?
The BFG. Ugh. When is Death Stranding supposed to come out?
I don't know.
Because that's the one I'm looking forward to the most as far as new games coming out. Because I want to see a Kojima game that has nothing to do with Metal Gear.
Well, I mean, there's always Police Knots.
Well, I mean, like a modern game.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I don't think Kojima's ever done like horror as a genre. Like, I think Snatcher had elements of horror, but he's never like actually done a straight horror game.
Yeah, but he's working with who is it?
Guillermo del Toro.
I can't fucking say, like, there's certain like names that I just cannot say for some reason.
And speaking of which, I actually did see The Shape of Water semi-recently.
Yeah, I remember you were watching that.
That was a
good movie.
It was interesting. I'm not sure if I can call it good or not. Like, it's a fairly good movie. The cinematography is fucking excellent. The acting is spot on. The only problem is it's kind of lacking in like any sort of subtlety. Like, I could predict the plot well before like everything happened, and all of the symbolism was way too easy to get. I mean, I don't want movies to have symbolism so... I would rather take like symbolism so dumbed down that I can get it right away versus symbolism that's so obscure that I have no idea what the hell's going on. But like, this was just kind of pushing the whole easy to get thing.
The whole being able to predict the movie every step of the way, I mean, just welcome to every movie I've ever watched ever.
Yeah.
Like, there's very few movies that I couldn't predict.
I think
The Illusionist was one. The Illusionist had a really good ending that I didn't see coming.
That was one that, like, the only person I have ever, like, managed... That I've ever seen who managed to properly predict the ending of The Illusionist was my sister.
Yeah, that movie was like one of the few movies I couldn't predict the ending of. I can't think of anything else readily. I guess there were a couple points in his Vanguard series, the original one, that I didn't call. But even then, I still had like a 90% correct rate. I was pretty much almost always right. There was just a couple parts that they managed to like...
I would say it might have been like 80 or something, but yeah.
I'm actually starting to get better at predicting movies, though.
I don't know.
I almost predicted like predicted the Force Awakens along with you. I just fucked up like at one of the major twists because I forgot this is a J.J. Abrams film.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like normally pretty good at picking up on patterns, and movies are very structured. I don't know what the right word would be because I'm not like
structured
I'm not like
right.
a movie critic or whatever, so I don't know like what terms you would use, but
structured sounds like the right term.
Yeah, movies like they follow like formulas, I guess, and like they're all constructed in similar ways anymore. 'Cause it's kind of like with like video games whenever like the PlayStation first came out and nobody knew how to 3D, so it was just like spaghetti being like flung at a wall.
Yeah.
And we got all kinds of like weird and crazy games, but now as time's gone on and like we've kind of gotten a handle on how it all works, like the games are becoming more and more and more kind of samey. Samey because there's like a certain formula that works and like everyone's kind of gotten a hold of it now. And it's like the same thing with movies. Like if you look back at some movies, like they're just kind of like all over the place, like if you go back far enough, and then you reach a certain point and everyone's like, oh, well, people responded best to this and this seems to work best, and, well, I guess this 3-act structure thing is pretty good.
I think it's pretty telling that some of the like the best films, the greatest classics, are coming from people who had no idea how to like make movies, and so we're just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
I mean, just as many like flops and like so bad it's good movies came from people who had no idea what the hell they were doing. But yeah, sometimes you gotta fuck up to get things right.
Well, the thing is, it's like these movies are following like a safe path. It's not necessarily going to be anything groundbreaking, but it will do what it's meant to do. If you're willing to take risks though and just kind of experiment and like just get weird with movies, like then you end up making something where everyone's like, oh my god, this thing's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the same with games too. Games do it all the time. You'll see like a game just come out of nowhere with like some random ass mechanic that you're like not even entirely sure how somebody thought to do it in the first place. Like, ooh, I'm gonna take this turn-based RPG and throw in bullet hell games. Because why not?
So I always had this idea floating around in my head to like mix the idea of like JRPGs like in the Final Fantasy style with like ATB gauges and stuff, and mix that idea with a musical, like so that not only do you like have like that whole ATB gauge of like waiting for your turn or like taking turns doing battle, but also only certain characters and certain enemies can act when the music reaches certain parts.
That'd be interesting.
I thought about actually making the characters stick to only
Certain
being able
instruments.
to attack when certain instruments play.
Yeah, that would require a shit ton of coordination with the developers and the composer, though. It would be like a lot of fucking effort. There's a good chance that it would fail, but goddamn, if like an idea like that succeeds, you know there's going to be a lot of people trying to make musical JRPGs.
Oh man, if you wanted to make a needlessly complex game it would be a game that would absolutely 100% be for like a very niche sort of market. You can make a game where it's like, I guess it would be like kind of like a tactical. I would assume for it to work, it'd have to be a tactical game because you'd have to like control like a larger group of people. But instead of typical battle mechanics, you would like get just an actual like piano or keyboard, and you'd like playing. Like, you get what I'm saying already?
I get you.
Like you would control the people by playing like the music, and like it would be really complicated and would require you to like know how to actually play like instruments and stuff. And like there would probably be like the mechanics would probably be like rhythm based or something.
Dark Souls 3 on a Guitar Hero controller.
But like something like that, it would be like the flight simulator games where it'd be like so complex that it would be catering specifically to like a super niche market. But
yeah,
I bet if you did that, that would be like a really cool like game you could make.
Very much so.
I just don't know, like the market for that would be like so super niche though that I don't know if you'd be able to make enough money to be worth it. Although if someone ever did that once as just like a random passion project, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like I would try it once just to fail miserably because I have no music talent.
Well, I don't know. I kind of suck at music theory, but I could probably pick it up, maybe.
I think I could do it.
I think it would be a cool idea. Like the way I imagine it, you would probably have to control like a larger group of people because there would be a lot of different like notes and chords and stuff, and probably everyone would be like certain things or something. I don't know exactly how it would work, but like I can kind of imagine it in my head, the basic idea behind it. I love whenever we like start to talk about stuff, we get like a really good thing going,
And then
we die.
like we just immediately like just bam, hello wall, hello ding, you're the best ding
Your
ever.
PC tune-up trial has expired. Oh no!
Oh no!
Egads, my computer's ruined.
Oh yeah!
But what if?
But what if I were to download some free tune-up software on the internet?
and pass it off as my own.
Oh, delightfully. And your computer is now broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Fucking tired of this meme. Fucking tired of this meme.
actually another idea I had, like, regarding, like, games and shit. So you know how sometimes JRPGs and shit will, like, just throw the final boss at you or something at the very beginning of the game and, like, expect you to lose so you can move on with the plot?
Yeah.
I was thinking
Lost battles.
I was thinking something like that, like have a JRPG where, like, the final boss shows up, like, towards the beginning of the game with, like, final boss stats and wrecks everyone. But if you somehow manage to level grind enough to, like, fucking take him down, you unlock a new, entirely harder plot. Yes, Blake, I see your hand is up.
Yeah. Actually, I watched this video the other day of this guy who leveled up to level 100 on the island in Kingdom Hearts. He was like a streamer who'd been doing it as like some stream thing for like the course of like a month or two or something, but like that guy would probably be able to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, like, you level grind your party enough, you, like, take down the final boss when he shows up at the beginning of the game, and instead of, like, the game pretending you lost or, like, only making nominal changes, what winds up happening then is the plot takes a completely different turn where the final boss is defeated early and a new, even bigger threat emerges, and suddenly you're playing a completely different and much harder game now.
It's hard mode. It's the secret hard mode. That's how you
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool, though. I actually do like that idea. That's like well, not like, but I've had my own idea for the longest time about a game where I would imagine you would set it up kind of like an old school RPG where you'd have the class selection thing. Probably you'd have like your standard classes like fighter, black mage, white mage, red mage, etc. But like instead of only affecting like your stats and what magic you can use, like what classes you pick would also affect the way people around you like respond to you.
Yeah, I remember this one.
If you were to pick like a black mage, say, you would go through town and like everyone would be like afraid of you and like terrified because, you know, black mages are like ominous and like evil or whatever.
Yeah.
So like everyone would like hide from you and you wouldn't be able to talk to certain people. And like if you have a thief, whenever you're in shops, they'll like be distrustful of you and stuff, and you might end up having to like pay higher prices at like stores.
Or like get stopped by
if you don't have a thief with you, you can't get into like, you know, like back alley places and stuff.
I like that idea.
And then like, you know, your fighter's like kind of like the dude bro who's like hanging out at the bars and stuff, and everyone in town loves him because or whatever. And then like your white mage is like kind of like viewed like a religious figure, so everyone's like very reverent towards them.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like you probably could even have like a mechanic where you have to leave certain party members behind. Like what you can choose, like to leave certain party members.
What I wanted to do is I want the game to actively chastise you for whatever party you choose, but only like in certain places. Like, you know, if you have like a party that's set up in like that's like got like all shady characters, whenever you're in back alleys and stuff, everyone will love you and like think you got the best team ever. But whenever you're like in towns and stuff, everyone will like treat you like shit. But the main thing is I want you to be able to like change your party anytime, and the game will like constantly be like challenging your choices on your team. So like if you die or whatever, instead of getting a game over, you like go back to like a hospital or whatever, and like everyone there will be like, man, you sure got your ass kicked. Probably because you have that shitty black mage with you. I mean, that guy's fucking awful. What are you thinking? You know, like it'll like do stuff like that and try to like.
Oh, Mr. Mighty Warrior, my faith in you has been crushed.
Yeah, but and then like also the way you travel through the world will vary depending on like who's on your team, because you might like if you have like a certain team, like you might just go up to like the gates of this main town and everyone's like, go right on in. But if you have a different like setup, they don't trust you enough and you have to like go all the way around or something.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, if you have like certain characters, you can go talk to guys in back alleys who have like underground pathways and stuff that might like cut another travel distance like in half or something.
That'd be neat. I like this idea.
See, I think that could make like for a really fun RPG where there's like a lot of replay value in just how you assemble your team to begin with. So that's like one I've had in my head for the longest time, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to make games, so it doesn't do me much good.
Yeah, these are all really great ideas. I mean, not ideas that I'd want to see all in the same game. I feel like that would get a bit cumbersome, but
Yeah, they're.
but yeah, like great ideas to like implement in various different games.
Well, yeah.
Mizu, you got any ideas to contribute to the idea pool?
No, I just like my idea of an RPG where music plays and my characters can only attack to certain instruments playing. If there's no guitar in that music, your knight can't attack. Better plan ahead.
And then like certain characters could probably get solos where no matter what music is playing, only they get to attack because they're the ones singing right now.
The heart begins to play and the cleric just spam heals.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you'd like space up, and like you'd even specifically compose the music as new characters like show up in the party, so that they get more turns. Like the new characters get more turns, so you can get more used to them.
Okay. But what about a new game plus mode where you can put in your own music?
Now that would be difficult, but interesting. I mean,
Crypt of the Necrodancer made that like
Well-
work, but
well,
I mean
see,
it is
Crypt of the-
different.
Crypt of the Necrodancer made that work because like we've had software that can read the beat of music since like the early 2000s or something.
Well, I just mean like
But yeah, I get you.
that'd be cool if you could set it up to where.
Like create like somehow manage to make some software that can read what instruments are playing in a certain type of music.
I don't see why you couldn't recognize like instruments.
However,
As long-
depending on what characters it play on which instruments, your music would have to also incorporate a variety of instruments.
Well,
Or
like
certain
I s-
characters would be entirely useless.
And then
like I said, it'd be a new game plus thing, so
and then we
players
have
could use it to get like add difficulty or take difficulty away from
yeah, and
themselves.
then we have people who do speed runs where they have to compose their own set of music that's just them just like randomly like just constantly strumming on all the instruments that let their party attack and no instruments that let the enemies attack.
I mean, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for a new game plus mode, like, make them play through once under, like, whatever you have it set up as, and then once they've beaten the game once, they're free to, like, fuck around with the music at their own risk, because they might fuck themselves if they don't know what they're doing.
Welcome to my speed run of Legend of the Symphony. We're just going to go through this first fight so I can show you what the music sounds like.
It's not the best sounding music, but I get attacked every turn, every 5 seconds.
First boss dies.
He didn't even get a turn because we didn't use his instruments.
No, the only
But yeah,
I think
actually,
I'd put the bosses
I feel-
on like an instrument that one of the party members would actually use.
You know, it's a lot of cheese, but I feel like that would be so freaking hilarious that we just let them do that anyway.
Well, I mean, like, that would be funny. Like,
Yes.
see, that'd be like another way
It's so hilarious that we just let them do it anyway because I mean it is a new game plus option anyway, so
That's why I'm saying it wouldn't matter, even if they did exploit it.
yeah.
It'd be, like, fun as a new game plus option.
The only thing is, I'd also want it set up kind of like how Final Fantasy X's battle mechanic is set up.
Where it shows the turns.
Yeah, but there's also the whole thing of you can only attack when instrument plays, so if you don't react fast enough, you
skip your
miss
turn.
your turn.
Yeah.
That would be neat, yeah.
So you can, like... Are you talking about the thing where you swap people in and out? In 10?
No, it's not like how the battle order is set up, where like
I get you. So like
Tidus
so like
will
every
attack,
like
and then Lulu will attack, but then like the monster will attack after, and then you have.
I get you. So everyone's turn is like arranged on this. Oh, that could be even more tactical. Like everyone's turn is arranged on this wheel, and like every second after like one person's action, the next turn comes up, unless it's not their turn, in which case it just skips over them to the next person's turn. So you could strategically set it up so that you have all of your party act, and then time your own actions so that so that you can skip the enemy's turn because their music cue isn't up yet.
I guess it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's again really cheesy, but I feel like with the right balance and such, you can make it so high skill of a maneuver that it kind of balances out the cheese anyway.
The only thing is you'd also have to have the right character out, so that way that character doesn't have their turn skipped.
Yeah.
You skip my turn.
You're skipping my turn.
You skip your turn.
And then, like, the main character could probably have, like, a limit break or something like that, which allows them to act no matter what instrument's playing for a short amount of time.
Maybe.
But only as, like, a rare desperation attack.
The only thing, though, is that the way I'd already want the game to be set up is that all of the characters, main or not, can only access their turn as long as their instrument is playing.
And then, like, while that works with, like, just the background music and stuff from regular battles, like, boss battles would actually be, like, fucking musical, like, full-on songs with, like, lyrics.
Fucking wonderful orchestrated pieces.
Orchestrated pieces that could probably last, like, 20 or 30 minutes, where, like, everyone actually has vocal parts within the song.
I mean, you could take his idea with the musical attack things, and then, like, set the plot up to be, like, a musical.
Yeah.
And then the boss battles would be like that part of the story, like with a musical number or whatever.
Yeah.
That they would battle to. But I wonder if that were the case, would the boss battles be set up to where you have to play through the entire musical and then it's like based on like who dealt out the most damage?
Ooh, that would be a good question. Yeah.
Because that could make things interesting and like a non-traditional battle with the bosses where instead of you kill them when you hit their like whatever XP, like whatever HP amount. Instead, it's like whoever dealt out the most damage.
Yeah.
At the end. Like,
or maybe something like the guitar. Something similar to that, like perhaps if you survive to the end of the match and have dealt enough damage to the boss to consider winning.
Yeah, that's true too. You could
otherwise
just, like, have it like where you gotta get so much of like damage dealt and then also be alive at the end,
which could even lead to interesting situations where like someone like charts out exactly how much damage you need to do to the boss, so that like the first half of the song becomes a mad rush to reach that damage limit, and then the second half of the song becomes hunker down and heal so that you don't die,
defend and heal.
Which again I would totally allow as a strategy.
I mean, any strategy would work. Then you'd have a lot of people like trying to see how much damage they could do. Like that would be like his own challenge run is just try to like rack up the damage.
Yeah, like
points.
even have like a leaderboard or something of who dealt the most damage.
Then you'd have those people like in the New Game Plus mode doing that shit again. Only this time to get in the maximum number of attacks.
Although they're like level 100, the maximum level.
Well, see on New Game. Well, I see
this noobs. You only did 200,000 damage. I did 20 million.
Well, see, at that point, I feel like the leaderboards would be disabled if you use custom music.
Well, you could set up a separate like leaderboard.
Oh yeah, the custom music leaderboard.
Yeah, so that way they can challenge each other to try to find like the best music to like wreck people to.
All the instruments just play at once.
Yeah.
I think that would actually make for a really interesting game. You could like create a new genre of game if that worked.
Yeah.
Musical RPGs.
Yeah.
Like that would literally, I think, create an entirely new genre of RPG if you were to put that together.
I just feel like there need to be more mixtures of musical and game. I've only seen one game so far that is like a mixture of musical and game, and that's Nightmare Before Christmas: Oogie's Revenge.
Hey, there are the Little Mermaid levels in Kingdom Hearts.
Those are more QuickTime events.
That was a joke.
No.
That's like the worst part in...
Thank you.
That's like the worst part in Kingdom Hearts is the Little Mermaid levels. In both games, in both of the main games, the Little Mermaid world sucks.
Man,
and the first one, it just doesn't control very well, and it's annoying, and...
The block button is replaced with the descend button.
And yeah, it's all around crap. And then in the second one, it's a fucking musical for some reason, which is even dumber and worse.
I like how in how in Kingdom Hearts 2, like you get a full-on tutorial on how to move around in Atlantis, but the entire thing's a fucking rhythm game anyway, so you only move around like 2 screens.
I wonder if maybe in the second game they realized that the water thing sucked. So they did like the musical thing as a like, they were like, well, what if we try this instead? because like they realized they made the water controls terrible and they couldn't make them better.
I mean, honestly, I would say I do prefer Kingdom Hearts 2's Atlantis to Kingdom Hearts 1's Atlantis, because at least Kingdom Hearts 2's Atlantis, like, you can get through that fairly easily with no real problems.
Yeah, it's not hard. I mean, it's just a
stupid
rhythm game.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Beat it with Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah.
Audio spike.
Audio spike!
Audio spike!
Audio spike!
Yeah, we can see who won that one. It like about exploded when you did that. Oh gosh.
See, I don't think that would have been too bad to listen to. Maybe. No, that wasn't an invitation to do that some more.
More. I need more.
Hurt me more. Please stop doing that.
Yeah, you're gonna like bug people, assuming that that's even audible. Audible.
Subscribe to Audible.com. We're not sponsored, but fucking do it anyway.
Read books, you lazy fucks. You don't have to read them. People read them to you.
But what if I don't like books?
You suck. That's
Good job, Jimmy.
You failed and you made your parents disappointed and sad.
You know, sometimes you can't just read. You just can't read books. So instead, you go into Skyrim and read books.
Oh, gosh.
I actually, I don't know about other people, but I actually like picking up like the random books in Fallout and Skyrim and stuff.
Yeah.
Or, well, I guess it's not really books in Fallout, but I like finding the lore bits all over the place and reading them. They're a lot of fun. I mean, that's how you find great content like the Lusty Argonian made.
Oh, yes. Well, everyone knows about the Lusty Argonian maid.
Oh, I know. That's why I chose that one, because then
But, yeah.
it was going to be immediately lost. But
Yeah.
that's a great story. Somebody made a comic of that.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Do I even
saw
want to
it
know?
once. What's weird is it's not actually sexual. I stole the key. Damn it.
Good job.
I did it this time. It was my fault. Oh, well, I was going to go off and walk later anyway, so I'll just bring the key back when I go.
To explain, Blake stole a key from work by accident.
It's the key that locks up the booze halls. Without it, they can't lock up the booze cage, and that means people can look at the booze.
Oh no! Now people can
They
grab
still can't
alcohol.
buy it.
Now people can grab alcohol out of the cage and be told at the front register that they can't buy it at this time.
Yeah. The horror, the absolute dread.
Absolute dread.
Actually, I'm pretty sure there's like probably some kind of law about that or something. We can get in trouble if we have it out in the open.
Oh man!
Because then people could steal it or whatever.
This one time, like, this guy came into the store. Like, this one time, like, it was like 2 a.m. This guy comes into the store, sees the cage, like, in front of the alcohol, reaches above the cage, grabs, like, a bottle of vodka, goes to the front, and tries to bribe me with $20 to sell it to him.
Yeah, I've had people try to do that before. Where they're like, man, if I just, like, took this beer and left this 20 here, that'd be cool, right? And I'm like, no. No, I like having a job, so no.
Yeah.
Your $20 isn't worth me losing a steady income.
$20 now, $9 an hour.
Yeah. That's like, no thanks.
Considering I can make that 20 easily in a little over 2 hours
Oh, man.
of just standing around doing nothing.
I think I'm good.
I love whenever people come in that I would not, like, card for cigarettes because they're clearly, like, old enough, but they're not quite 40, which is technically what you're supposed to look for.
Yeah.
I love when people like that come in, and the first thing they do is, I don't have my ID on me, but... And it's like, well, now that you said that, I can't give you anything, so you fucked yourself.
Yeah.
If you had said nothing...
I would have let you off
I would
scot-free.
have just not even, like, carded you to begin with, because you're clearly, like, 25 or 27 or something.
But now that you've said that,
Yeah.
now that the fucking cameras heard you...
Well, not even that. Just because they say it, like, now I have to, like, default assume, even though I know. But I've had a few people do that to me, and I'm like, man, you said the wrong sentence.
Oh, man.
The exact wrong sentence.
Speaking of funny customer interactions, it's not really related to that too much, but I actually told you this story before, but actually recently, this one customer came in to buy like a Google Play card. She wanted to get like $185 on it, okay? So, I ring it up. She like swipes her card. The card doesn't approve for $185, but like half of it. So she's like, okay, I'll just pay the rest with cash. But she doesn't have enough cash, so she's like, okay, fine, I'll just void this transaction and ring that up again for $120 so I can afford it. Simple stuff. I ring it up, like she runs her card through again, but it declines the card because it hasn't quite gotten the money back on the card yet. So then she insists on taking the card, like the Google Play card, the unactivated Google Play card, going to the other Walgreens and purchasing it because, and I quote, "It's not activated, but my money is on it."
Yeah, people don't understand how those cards work at all. Which is annoying. Like, I don't know, man.
I'm not even sure if we're allowed to let customers walk out with the unactivated cards. I mean, it's not a situation that's ever come up before because everyone knows that these cards don't do shit if you don't buy them.
Some people are not the brightest, though. That's all I can really say on that. As evidenced by your story.
Oh, man. Another work story, but this time not related to customer service. There was this one time when I was like working the night shift and this giant fucking beetle like walked in.
Giant beetle? That sounds sweet.
Yeah, like the size of my palm.
Aw, dude.
You walked into Walgreens.
Yeah.
Beetle.
It like walked into Walgreens, like started walking around the store. I kept like seeing it around the store and I didn't want to step on it because it would like have left one giant fucking mess. So I like keep trying to shoo it out of the store. And I figure, it's been walking all over the place. Like no matter like who's gone by it, what's gone by it, it's just been walking. So I figure, no problem. I'll just get it to jump in this little dustpan here and I'll throw it outside. I like get the dustpan down like right next to it. It like opens up its back, just starts like fucking flying all over the goddamn store, and I scream like a fucking woman.
Scare a bug, do scary things.
I think it's telling that like my manager like just took care of it stoically while I was like running and cowering in a corner like a little bitch.
I have super intense phobia of bees, so I can relate. Don't care that much about beetles. They're just kind of annoying. But, like straight up anything that has a stinger, like no fucking thank you.
I've said it many times before that like I'm not afraid of bugs. I just am really annoyed by them. But I think this has like caused me to amend my statement. I'm not afraid of bugs. I'm just really annoyed by them. Unless they happen to be of a certain size or larger, then fuck no, get me away from that shit.
That's a bug.
It's a bigger bug.
I'm gonna need a bigger shoe.
Bro would not make it in the Pokemon world where bugs are huge.
Nope.
Go
Like I'd start my Pokemon journey, be all like, yeah, I'm gonna use this little Pokemon. He's gonna evolve into a big old guy. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna fight fucking God. And oh my God, that is a bee! Get it away from me!
I mean, the first thing you encounter typically is a giant
bug-type Pokemon.
Yeah, a giant caterpillar. So.
Well, see, a giant caterpillar, a Caterpie, I wouldn't be too bad with. It's when you start getting into like the
beetle.
Yeah, it's when you start getting to like the fucking beetles, ladybugs, like giant goddamn moths.
Venomoth, ladybug, Beedrill.
Especially seeing as like a few of these bug type Pokemon multi-class as poison type Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh man,
Pinsir, Scyther.
what Pokemon is it that fucking Jesse and James hit with the fucking sledgehammer in that episode we were watching?
Oh gosh.
Was that? What Pokemon was that? They fucking like straight up full force swung a sledgehammer into one of the Pokemon.
Misty Starmie.
Yeah, Misty Starmie, that's what it was. And I was like, holy shit, they fucking wrecked that Pokemon with that sledgehammer, man.
Well, I guess James should change his name to Triple H.
Was it James or was it Jesse?
It was James.
It was James.
Oh, and the best part is that Misty grabs a bucket of water, splashes it on the Starmie, and the Starmie is ready to fight again.
It makes no sense. Like, they would have fucking killed that Pokemon, I think, with the sledgehammer if this wasn't an anime. Because it was like, it was an actual sledgehammer. Like, that's what it was.
I'm not sure how good starfish are adept to taking sledgehammers to the face. But I imagine they're just like everything and would fucking do it dead.
Yeah, like, that should have probably killed it. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a human, like, fight a Pokemon and actually deal some damage.
It's fucking Team Rocket. I feel like they do this shit all the time.
I mean, they've tanked how many Pokemon attacks now? Like, you know what? There's a good question. Who has tanked more Pokemon attacks, Ash or Team Rocket?
Team Rocket.
I don't. Ash only got electrocuted a bunch by Pikachu early on. I think after a while, Pikachu just like stopped electrocuting him all the time.
Well, then there's also
Charmeleon breathing fire on Ash, Charizard breathing fire on Ash,
and not just
Primeape beating the shit out of him for the 4 episodes Ash has it.
But yeah, like.
But there's
but
not
like
just...
Team Rocket gets their shit wrecked by a Pokemon
on a daily basis.
On basically every episode. Like, well, there's probably only like 2 episodes in the entire run where they don't get wrecked by a Pokemon at the end.
Well, I mean, there's not just like the friendly fire incidents, but Ash also got like pecked a million fucking times by all those Pidgeys in the first episode, and then there's Spearow, yeah.
And then there's that time he ran between Mew and Mewtwo's blast and got fucking obliterated.
Yeah.
But does that count? Because it killed him. He straight up died.
And then there's that time that he decided to like calm all the legendary birds by standing in the middle of them and being all like, "No, stop fighting!" And then they all just fucking attack him.
Yeah. Yeah, Ash takes a lot of damage, but I don't think he takes anywhere near as much as Team Rocket, even with all the damage he takes.
You know, actually, it reminds me there was a specific wiki about like characters that have died multiple times in certain fiction, and Ash pretty much has won the award for most deaths on screen.
Well,
he dies at least like once in every movie.
Yeah. Oh, Ash. Always dying.
And the worst part is I'm pretty sure most of those movies are not canon.
You know, it's kind of funny. Despite Pokemon being a kids show that was also dubbed by 4 kids,
well,
Ash holds the world record for amount of... Like, Pokemon probably holds the record for most amount of deaths in a 4 kids anime, just from Ash alone.
Probably. I mean, he always comes back with power, friendship, or whatever bullshit they use in that particular movie, but he does die, I guess. So that's something. You think he would just get tired of it after a while? He'd be like, man, this is like the 13th time I've died. Fuck. Death is starting to have no consequence to me.
I died running in the middle of 2 Pokemon. I died running in the middle of 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, if he gets sent to the Shadow Realm 3 more times, he gets a free trip.
He's
fucking got blasted into space, had no oxygen and froze to death.
That sounds awesome.
Wait, that actually happened?
Yes. There's 2
Looks
movies
like
that
Ash
are
is
just
blasting off again.
There are 2 movies where literally the only difference is what Pokemon the villain has and whether his family members have a shiny Pokemon or not.
Cool.
And they both end the same way, with him sitting in a castle, blasting off into space, with no oxygen and freezing to death.
Weird.
Good old Ash, he's gotta die. Somebody probably just really hates Ash over at where they're making Pokemon movies. And they're like, I'm just gonna fucking kill him again. I can't stand Ash.
I mean,
and then some other executive's like, well, he can't stay dead. Damn it. Why can't we just keep him dead for once?
I mean,
It's like, no, the kids might cry or something. Bring him back.
Didn't that actually happen in Batman like once? I think it was like Jason Todd or something.
Jason Todd dies in the comics, but I don't know if any of these series ever had his death in them.
But yeah, I remember like you were watching that one video where the guy was explaining how the creator of Batman like created a character, really didn't like that character, or no, he created a character like to be Robin, but then like everyone didn't like him, so he like had a, or was it that he didn't like that character, so he had like a vote cast to see which character would get killed off, and that character won.
I think another person didn't like the fact that Batman had a sidekick and tried to kill the new Robin off.
So basically what happened was Robin left and became Nightwing, so Batman was on his own, and whoever was doing the comics at the time preferred Batman being alone, but then the executives were all like, no, it's gotta be Batman and Robin. It's gotta be Batman and Robin.
Oh yes, it was the Robin that became Red Hood that got that treatment.
Yeah, and then so they made Jason Todd, but the guy liked Batman alone way better. So he was always trying to get Robin killed, basically, because he just didn't want Robin. And like, so eventually they like did that poll thing, and everyone voted for Robin to die. And then Robin died, and then Superman retconned the universe by punching it. And
he came back to life.
And Jason Todd came back to life.
But this time as Red Hood.
Alternatively, he got thrown in the Lazarus pit, whichever version you prefer. Although I think the one where the retcon punch happens, he also gets thrown in the Lazarus pit, but for a different reason. Either way, he doesn't stay dead, and he becomes the Red Hood, and then that's a thing. No, Batman.
Oh man.
That was a sexy yawn.
But yeah, I wouldn't put it past it for someone to be trying to kill Ash off in every movie.
I mean,
a bunch of people are like, let's just get rid of Ash already and have a new protagonist.
Well, I mean, we kind of had a semi-new. I mean, we
Ash
kind of
Ash isn't even really the protagonist in the anime series so much as he's the second-person perspective from which the stories are told. It's usually the girls he's hanging out with, isn't it? That like
do all the things
or whatever. He's just kind of there. I haven't watched any of like the newer series, but from what I understand, that's like the way it is.
It depends more or less.
Depends. Because my understanding was it's usually like whatever girl he's hanging out with that time is like doing whatever's going on in the story, and Ash is just kind of along for the ride.
Well, I mean, we didn't really ever focus too much on Iris in Black and White, so that couldn't necessarily be the case. And Misty wasn't necessarily a main protagonist either.
In the first, I'm not talking about the first series. I mean after that, where he starts going from place to place.
Say, May and Dawn were kind of like new Pokemon trainers Ash was teaching, and they had way more actual things to do with the plot and more character growth.
If you're gonna throw Ash in everywhere, it would make sense to use him as just like the perspective from which the story is told, and then have the story actually be about whatever character he's hanging out with this time around.
Kind of like Mushishi in a way.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, except in Mushishi, like the main character kind of solves all the problems, and Ash just kind of observes all the problems being solved, and occasionally solves the problems himself.
Well, Pikachu solves most of the problems.
Yeah.
Pikachu is the solution to most of the problems.
Pikachu Thunderbolt! Team Rocket's blasting off again!
If there's a problem, it can probably be solved by Pikachu zapping something with electricity really hard.
Like Team Rocket.
Also, I find it
Team
hilarious.
Rocket.
Or Team Rocket.
Also, I
Or
find
if you're feeling crazy, Team Rocket.
Or on that really rare occasion, the team that's in whatever region he's in.
Nice.
I do also find it hilarious how, like, pretty much 2 episodes in, Team Rocket realized that going against the Pikachu might be problematic, so they always bring they always bring electricity proofing like with them at all times, but it still doesn't do jack shit.
It never helps because they get electrocuted anyways.
Or, Ash is just like, Charizard, breathe fire on them.
Breathe fire!
And Charizard's like, no, I got a better idea. Picks him up and throws him in the air.
Charizard grabs him, he throws him there, and he's like, "You're fired."
Or you know, he sends Squirtle out, and Squirtle's just like, "What a gun, bitch!" Blah 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 blah.
Remember whenever he it wound up with the coolest Squirtle in the group with the cool sunglasses?
Nope, totally not.
That was the best Squirtle ever.
Oh, and there's also always the episode where Ash solar beams the shit out of Team Rocket.
Yeah, but then he has to wait an extra turn.
All right, use solar beam.
Actually,
I said use solar beam.
Actually,
I am using it.
he doesn't even say use solar beam. Bulbasaur just decides to use solar beam, and Ash is like, "The fuck's happening?"
Well, I mean, Ash
As
has
of
never
which
been a
Brock is-
particularly good trainer.
As of which Brock is just like, "Oh gosh, it's solar beam."
Solar beam.
Solar beam.
What's funny is Ash is probably like, "What's that?" And Brock's like, "It's solar beam." And like 2 episodes later, Bulbasaur's like doing it again. And Ash is like, "What's that?" And Brock's like, "I thought I already explained this, but that's solar beam."
But why male models?
And then I guess really early on, whenever Ash gets Bulbasaur, whenever Pidgey decides to whirlwind the shit out of Team Rocket.
Basically, whatever Pokemon Ash has at the time will wreck Team Rocket shit into oblivion.
But mostly Pikachu. As long as Team Rocket doesn't have fucking electricity protection and shit.
Wasn't there an episode one time where Pikachu just zapped really, really hard and it went through their electricity proofing?
Probably.
Like, I feel like that happened once. Like, he just tried really hard and it,
We have
negated
we have
all of
this
their
electricity
shit.
absorbing device. Pikachu, thunder shock it really hard.
Like, I feel like that happened once. But I don't
Look, now we
remember
have
what
free
it was.
electricity. This is wonderful. We can now cook our food. Pikachu, shock harder.
That sounds like something my electric dad would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I have, like, loose memories of, like, the original series from when I was a kid, but there's only a handful of episodes I, like, remember specifically.
Team Rocket's either wearing rubber or they have fucking devices designed to absorb electricity, and Pikachu just shocks hard enough and blows it up and they fly away.
Yeah, see, I feel like that happens in an episode, at least one.
It happens like 4 or 5 times.
Like I'm saying, I just remember it happening at least once. If it happened multiple times, I'm not that shocked.
Because it's Pikachu.
Yeah, because it's Pikachu. it's Ash's Pikachu, so like the rules don't apply to it.
Rules.
Also, I find it hilarious how like Jesse and James in their first appearance are a legit friggin' threat because like they take over they take over a goddamn hospital, like to hold all the Pokemon hostage and shit, and then like they're taken care of at the end of the episode, and then after that they just kind of become the butt end of every joke.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's like Pilaf in the Dragon Ball series. In the first arc, he's like a legitimate threat. I mean, he's still like comical, but he is the threat for their first arc. And then from that point forward, he's just a joke.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, they even brought him back in Super to be a joke again.
They brought him back in GT to kick off the plot
Yeah,
by being a joke.
yeah, pretty much. Like that's what he is. He's like the first real threat of like the entire Dragon Ball franchise, and after that, he's just a giant fucking joke.
Well, I mean, no one ever
Fucking joke.
I mean, no one ever has trouble against the first boss after beating the first boss.
Yeah, the first boss in a lot of games ends up becoming a regular in about like halfway through.
Yeah.
It's like in Dark Souls, the fucking that demon guy that wrecks your shit on the stairs with the 2 wolves.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you get to the fucking fireplace, they're just all over the place. They're like a regular fucking enemy there. And they still wreck your shit. They're hard as fuck. They're just not as hard because you're stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like an appropriate note to end everything on.
Yep. I mean, I did pick up Metal Gear Solid 5 again, but that's not really anything interesting. I'm not really learning anything new about the game. Though I am going to try to use the cardboard box more.
Cardboard box.
You know, it's funny. Like, despite the cardboard box being like the staple of the Metal Gear series,
Cardboard is love. Cardboard is life.
despite the cardboard box being like the staple of the Metal Gear series, I barely ever use it.
Yeah, I never really used it much in the games either.
because I can stealth
Oh,
just
no,
well enough
the truck
without.
have started to move.
Because I can stealth well enough without the cardboard box. The only time I recall ever using a cardboard box regularly is in Metal Gear Solid 3 when I used it to easily infiltrate the hangar that the Shagohod's being held in. That's like the only time I reliably use a cardboard box in Metal Gear Solid.
I think the cardboard box does more to get me caught than actually help me sneak. But I'm really bad.
moving box.
I'm really bad at the Metal Gear games. I am not a stealth game person. Luckily, you're good at the stealth games, though.
Semi-good.
Well, anyways, we're an hour and 8 minutes in, so...
And I gotta do the whole work thing soon.
He's gotta do the work thing soon, and I've gotta go take a nice walk out in this nice spring weather.
And I've got to stop ignoring. And I've got to stop ignoring my friends. So until the next time we do things.
Until the next time.
On Dragon Ball Z, this has been Ralleign Siston.
And the Mizu.
And I am Blake Foxx Die.
Ugh!
Wrong button.
You failed.
Fail.